Hi guys, I'm Andy and welcome back to Backpacking UK. If hiking, backpacking and wild camping are your thing, please hit that subscribe button because that's what this channel's all about. Right, today I'm going to teach you how to camp like a pro. Right, I've done a 3-part series so far, going from beginners to intermediates to advanced, but this is the one, how to wild camp like a pro. I'm going to be talking about all the gear I use to take you right through all 4 seasons. And mainly I'm talking about the gear that you'll need to get you through the wind, the cold and the rain, especially really strong winds, freezing conditions and proper rainstorms too. So first of all, I'm going to talk about your tent. Tent, I would say, is the single most important thing in bad conditions. What you need is a 4-season tent, not a 3-season tent, not a 3+ season tent, a proper 4-season tent. And I'll show you a couple of features that you've got to look out for. So first up, when you're looking at a 4-season tent, you must get one where the fly goes right down to the floor, because you want to stop any wind getting through your tent, any rainfall or any precipitation. Next up is the mesh inside your tent. It wants to be a solid mesh. You don't want to see any thin mesh whatsoever. Solid mesh. We want to keep all those chilly winds out of your tent. Next up, make sure you've got a tent with plenty of guy lines. You must use all your guide lines, all of them. Make sure they're nice and tight. When you can, wrap them around the poles. Just gives it that extra rigidity, which you'll be thankful for in high winds. Next, you must have a tent that's truly waterproof with a high hydrostatic head rating. You don't want anything that over time the water's going to seep through the fabric. When you peg your tent out, make sure these tent pegs go right into the ground. Like, I've cheated here because I'm just doing this as a demonstration video, but this should be right into the ground at 45-degree angle. This peg should not be going anywhere in the wind, so get that right down low to the ground. With all your guy ropes, pull them really nice and taut all the way round. In the middle of the night, the last thing you want to be doing is getting out of your tent and tightening up your guy ropes. Next up is tent pegs. Now, there's a lot of tents out there come with really bad tent pegs, either really short ones or just the traditional sort of stakes, those sort of circular stakes, even on mid-price tents, which I think's awful. However, don't worry, because you can upgrade your tent pegs really easily and nice and cheaply. For instance, these are sort of spiral type tent peg. These were from Nature Hike, decent length. These aren't going anywhere in most conditions. I think they're about £15. When it's really windy, these ground anchors are absolutely brilliant. Again, 45-degree angle, get this right down deep in the ground, and I promise you these aren't coming out. Your tent is going nowhere. Also, if you're camping in the snow or if you're camping in the sand, you might want to look at tent pegs like this. Now, these are a nice bit of kit, but these cost about £100 a pack from, say, Hilleberg. However, these can be found on Amazon for, again, less than 15 quid. I'll put the link in the description. But get yourself some of these if you're looking at camping in the snow or on the beaches. They're an absolute lifesaver, these are. And last up, just get some additional guy rope. This again doesn't cost much, sort of £10–15, but you never know when you might need it. Next up, if you're doing true 4-season camping, you really want a true 4-season sleeping bag. Now, there's lots of sleeping bags out there that claim to be 4 seasons, and they're just really not. You need to add on about 3 to 5 degrees, absolute minimum, to their comfort levels for what's going to give you a realistically good night's sleep. Now, if you're serious about wild camping, I would seriously think about investing in a true 4-season winter sleeping bag. This is the Rab Ascent 1100. It's got absolutely tons of insulation in there. Word of warning though, you do want to get a down sleeping bag, and basically it will loft up just like this, but it will compact really small, and it's lightweight too. And next up, if you're sleeping all year round, you really do want to invest in an insulated sleeping mat. It's a game changer, it really is. You know, even if you've got a decent sleeping bag, you know, the coldness of the ground will go through your sleeping mat if it's not insulated. They're a little bit bigger, they weigh a bit more, and they cost a bit more, but tell you what price would you put on a good night's sleep? This one I think retails for about £120, mountain equipment one. It's a really good bit of kit, I can't rate it enough. Next up is your cooking. Now, you don't need a Jetboil, this Jetboil Minimo, but an all-in-one system's really good. It's so compact, it's so light, it's really good in all conditions, really good in the wind, the way it fits together. All I would say is just make sure, if you do get a gas all-in-one system, just make sure you've got 4-season gas. And if you really want to take your camp cooking to the next level, there's loads of camp kitchenware out there, but something like this Jetboil Summit skillet is an absolute brilliant bit of kit. Ceramic coating, it means that nothing sticks to it. It's a fantastic bit of kit, and you can cook some fantastic food on that mountain. But one thing I always do, even if I take real food with me, it's always worth keeping a packet food with you, just in case of emergencies. They're compact, they're light, but they give you plenty of nutrition, so it's well worth keeping one of these in your backpack. If you want to take your wild camping to the next level, it's worth, you know, have a look online. YouTube's obviously great for places to go and visit, but buy some OS maps, have a good look in those, and also buy some books too. You know, do some proper research, and you'll be rewarded with some absolutely amazing trails, amazing hikes, and some stunning locations to wild camp. So next up is kit. If you really want to wild camp like a pro and, you know, go in some pretty serious conditions, you want some gnarly walking boots, plenty of tread, Gore-Tex liner, something that's going to protect your ankle just in case you have a bit of a moment. So next up is your clothing, and you really want to master that layering system. I personally would highly recommend going merino wool for your socks, for your base layer bottoms and your base layer top. And what's brilliant about merino wool is it will keep you warm even when it's wet. And if you want to wild camp like a pro, you want to be thinking about some sort of technical clothing really. So technical fleeces, you know, it gives you a real high level of warmth and breathability for minimal weight. Something like a little sort of wind cheater jacket. These weigh absolutely nothing. It just keeps that chilly wind off you. It's really important to have something small and breathable if you're getting a bit of a move on, because what you don't want to do is end up a big sweaty mess. Next up, one thing that I find really useful is like a lightly insulated jacket. This is a Rab one, but to be honest now, if you go for some own brands, you know, you can get these lightly insulated jackets really cheap. I absolutely love it. Pack's really small, really light. It's just really nice to wear too. Next up, if you're looking at camping in winter, it's the down jacket. This is a mountain equipment one, similar to the lightly insulated jacket. You can get some really good value down jackets now. Places like Decathlon, Go Outdoors, they have some cracking ones at really good prices. The loft in this, I mean, they're just lovely to wear. They're super light, super warm. You just got to be careful because you don't really want to get these wet. And lastly, at this stage, you've got to get a Gore-Tex jacket. You know, don't go too cheap on a proper walking jacket. It's got to be waterproof, and I think it's got to be breathable too. The Gore-Tex are the masters at that. This is a sprayway jacket, but there's lots of different brands out there with Gore-Tex liners, or, you know, if you can't afford that, try and get a waterproof jacket that is breathable, and it should say in the specification. Next up is some proper lights. Now, if you're camping in the winter, chances are you might have to do a bit of walking in the dark because it gets dark early. So this is a through night head torch, really bright, ridiculous amount of lumens. It's quite nice to take a proper head torch or a proper torch like this Phoenix one with you, just in case you know, need that extra light to get to your location. You might decide it's not for you, you might want to come home, you know, and hopefully you'll never get moved on, but some places at the moment that seems to be happening. So you want a light where you know you can get back to your home or back to your car. And lastly, when you're backpacking and wild camping, you seriously need to think about proper backpack. If you're going to take it serious, get a decent one. Get one with a really nice back. It's going to be really comfy. This lets all the air escape so you don't get a sweaty back. If you're looking at camping all year round, I've got a Kestrel 48. This is a Kestrel 68, which I'll use in winter. When you're in winter, you take more with you, and chances are you might have a bigger sleeping bag, you might have a bigger tent, and you're certainly going to take more clothes with you. So if you can, get a bigger backpack for winter, and I tell you what, you won't regret it. So hopefully you got something out of my Wild Camp Like a Pro video. Check out my other videos if you're new to the channel, and hopefully see you on that mountain soon. Cheers.